Okay. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to our weekly live stream for Digital Making at Home with the Raspberry Pi Foundation. This week I'm joined by my partner in crime, Zach, who you may recognize from some of our video on demand content that we put out every week for Digital Making at Home. How are you today, man? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit anxious about being on the live stream?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Yeah, nervous? Yeah, and to be nervous, man. You're a pro at this sort of thing. You do it all the time. So we've got a couple of interviews today, don't we? We've got an interview with JC, so you and me can ask her a couple of questions, which will be awesome. And then we'll have a look at some Scratch projects and we'll walk the people at home through a few of your ideas that you might want to throw into that game, yeah? Sound cool?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so this week, our special guest is the outreach manager from the Scratch Foundation, and her name is JC, and she's a really, really cool person. She's got some amazing answers about Scratch, and we use Scratch all the time, don't we? It's your favorite thing to work in when we do our coding lessons? You're getting a bit of a pro at it now, right?
I'm getting okay.
You're getting okay. I think you're pretty good. And so we love Scratch in our house. I've loved Scratch for years. It's actually my favorite thing to program in. I can do some really powerful things very quickly with Scratch, which is why I love it so much. And it's a really nice way to get young people like Zach and his brother Xavier into doing really great things with code in a short amount of time. You don't have to be an incredible typist or be able to like do spelling or grammar or things like that, do you, to be able to make Scratch projects that are really, really fun and interesting to work with. So should we ask JC a couple of questions now? Yeah, you got your questions ready?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right. So we'll get JC on now. JC, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. How are you all?
Yeah, really good. It's hot here in Cambridge, like in the UK, because I think you're in Cambridge too, aren't you?
We are in the other Cambridge, actually Somerville, right next door, and it's super hot here. Nice and steamy.
Cool. How are you doing, dude?
Good.
Good? Yeah? You got your drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. Awesome. Cool. So, I mean, it's great to have you on this week, JC. Thanks for making the time for us. It's really awesome to be able to speak with someone from the Scratch Foundation who, you know, makes this amazing piece of kit for children all over the world. How did you personally get involved in the Scratch Foundation?
Sure, sure. So first, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be hanging out with you all. I've been a huge fan of Scratch for a long time now, and personally and professionally, I started off in a school teaching Scratch in an after-school club to a lovely group of kids in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and then also worked with a lot of teachers in helping them bring Scratch into their classrooms to support kids learning math and social studies and science and literacy, all using Scratch. So it's something I've been really passionate about way before I came onto the Scratch team. And so when I saw that Scratch was hiring an outreach manager, I was super excited and jumped on the opportunity.
Awesome. What apart from helping teachers get Scratch into their classrooms and using it in the myriad of ways that you can use it in, because it's so broad and creative, what did you do as a job before joining Scratch? Like, what was your gig generally before that?
Sure. So some people know exactly what they want to be, right? Like when they're 7, 8, 9. I was not that person. I kind of jumped around and did a whole bunch of different jobs, everything from working in an ice cream shop to working on a farm. And then somehow worked my way into technology. So the job I had before coming to Scratch was actually working at a university in Cambridge called Lesley University, where their focus is actually teaching teachers and teaching graduate students how to become teachers. And the coolest thing about that job was that I got to help run a makerspace. I got to go into schools and help teachers use really hands-on, messy, interesting projects in their classrooms. And so there was a lot of learning to do, both for myself and both for the teachers that I was working with. So it was all very exciting work.
That's awesome. That's cool. That's like quite a circuitous journey to get to where you are now, I guess. Ice cream shops and farms and schools and teaching teachers, and now you're teaching kids all over the world and getting them and like getting involvement with that sort of broad learning thing that Scratch can do. Did you have a question that you wanted to ask JC while we're here?
Oh yeah. Why is Scratch called Scratch?
Oh, such a good question. So when Scratch was created, Scratch was a long time in the making, and Scratch was created by the Lifelong Kindergarten Group, which is a group at the MIT. Media Lab in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And when they were first developing Scratch, the idea to have a kids programming language that kids could like customize and take bits and parts and snap them together and remix. They came up with the idea of Scratch as an inspiration from hip hop DJs that use multiple records and kind of manipulate the records in what's called scratching. So when you stop a record, you slow it down, you remix and make weird sound effects and customize the music. So I think it was a playful take on DJ scratching.
That's cool.
Why was Scratch invented?
Another excellent question. So I think when it was invented, like I said, Scratch was a long time in the making at MIT, and it came out of a lot of research and a lot of learning about how kids express themselves creatively and how kids interact with technology and computers. That was work that was going on ever since the 1960s at the MIT Media Lab. And so when Scratch was developed, it was finally launched in 2007. It was a platform for kids, any kid, to like easily come in and learn how to create and play with code and make animations and make games. So it was developed for kids to learn how to code and how to program, but even more importantly, it was developed as a way for kids to use computers and use technology to share their ideas and to express themselves through music, through animation, and of course, through a lot of kids love the platform because they get to make their own games.
Of course, yeah. So you say it came out of like the MIT Media Labs and the Lifelong Kindergarten project or idea there. So, I mean, obviously it must take a lot of people to keep Scratch going. Like, I'm sure it's not just you and Mitch Resnick making Scratch work. Like, so who are the people behind the scenes who are making this amazing piece of kit?
Sure. So I am here today on behalf of one of the, and I know I'm a little biased about my team, one of the most creative, most kind group of human beings, most talented group of human beings. So I'm really proud to be representing that group. Just shout out to all the Scratch team and the team at the Lifelong Kindergarten group. So we work really closely with Natalie Rusk and Mitch Resnick, who of course are at the LLK, the Lifelong Kindergarten group. But Scratch actually kind of outgrew its space at MIT and actually moved to their own office. And we are now called the Scratch Foundation. And so that team is made up of a whole bunch of different kinds of people. So there are, of course, the developers, so engineers who work on the code. They do a lot of debugging. So our engineers at Scratch are constantly debugging the Scratch code, right? So when you're using Scratch and you notice a bug and you report it, we have a whole group of programmers that are getting those reports and that are working on fixing the problems in Scratch. So that's our engineering team. But we also have a whole team that creates resources, and that's the team I'm on. So we're the education and outreach team. Our job is pretty awesome. Our job is to connect with educators and after schools and museums and anyone else around the world who's using Scratch, and to help them figure out what kind of resources do they need to reach new Scratchers, or help teachers learn how to use Scratch in their own classrooms. So that's our resources team. Like all organizations, we have an amazing human resources team. So there's someone who takes care of the people at Scratch, make sure everybody's happy. Development, that's important. I need to shout out to the development team. So one of the most important parts of the Scratch mission is that Scratch is free for everybody. And we couldn't do that without a development person who helps get money or funding so Scratch can continue to be free for everybody. So that's super important to our mission. Of course, an executive director. And last but not least, the hugest shout out to our moderation team. And so I think maybe a lot of people don't realize how important moderation is when you have a huge online community. But moderators are the people behind the scenes at Scratch, making sure that all the comments and the projects at Scratch are safe, that people are being respectful, that people are being good digital citizens. They're working really hard. And we actually, very interestingly, not only have moderators in our Boston office, but we have them all over the world. And they're doing work behind the scenes in different languages and in different geographical parts of the world where like cultural norms might be a little bit different, to make sure that Scratch stays safe for everybody.
That's amazing.
That's it's an awesome team, and there's a lot of different ways you can be part of the Scratch team.
That's super cool. And I like the idea that your moderators are all over the world, because I guess very much like the Raspberry Pi Foundation, like you're a global entity now, right? Like people from almost every country in the world use Scratch, and we encourage kids all over the world to use Scratch. And like we have our team of translators who do an incredible job every single day of the year, going out there and taking our projects, turning them into languages that other people can understand, so that we can democratize that access to technology for young people. You know, like nobody should have these bars put in front of them if they want to get out there and learn to make stuff. And I think for me, like I say, Scratch is like my favorite platform to code in because of all of those reasons, because it's fun, it's engaging for you, right? You dig Scratch every day. It's like, is it coding time yet? You know, like we have to get through your maths and English homework so that we can get to your coding part of it. And you love jumping on Scratch and making cool stuff pops out of your brain. And I think, yeah, that's really amazing. Like, I think it's super incredible the work that you guys are doing. I mean, would you like to work at Scratch one day, do you think? Do you know what you'd have to do to get there? What you'd have to do to get a job at Scratch?
Work hard.
Work hard, that's one thing. But I reckon, like, what do you think, JC? If Zach wanted to get a job at Scratch one day, like, what do you think he would have to do? What's the path he could take to get there?
Yeah. So Zach, you're a perfect age actually for my advice. So when I was around 8, I promised myself that I would never ever grow up, and I think I've done a good job sticking with that promise. So that's all to say, like, keep trying new things, keep exploring, keep taking risks, keep doing things that scare you, right? And hold on to that inner kindergarten. There's a reason why the Lifelong Kindergarten Group is called Lifelong Kindergarten Group, because kindergartners are at the age where they're not afraid to make mistakes, right? And they're not afraid to take risks and experiment. And I think the coolest part about the people on the Scratch team is that even though we're grown-ups, we like to be like kids and explore and experiment. And actually, I'd love to share that every Friday at the Scratch team, everybody is welcome to break and come do something called recess. So I work at a company with a whole bunch of grown-ups, but every Friday we break for recess. And that's a time where everybody's welcome to come play together. And so I think the idea of like keeping a playful spirit and knowing that that's okay to and that's possible to have when you grow up, and it's possible to do a fun job that appreciates creativity and play and expression. You'll head right on to that Scratch team or other creative organization that would love to have you.
Sounds cool, right? Get to have afternoon break on a Friday where you get to go play with everybody else that you work with. Doesn't sound like being a grown-up at all, does it? Not really. Have you got any more questions you'd like to ask JC while we've got her on the stream?
I've got one more.
One more? Okay, yeah, go for it.
If you had a teleportation machine, where would you go?
Oh, amazing. If I had a transportation machine, where would I go? You know, I have to say, I watched the latest NASA mission to the International Space Station, and I couldn't stop watching it. I would have to get into that rocket and head up there into space. I want to know what it feels like to be in zero gravity and look at the Earth from far away. So that's where I would go.
Cool. What about you? Where would you go?
Anywhere, like in the universe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jamaica.
Jamaica. Yeah, you can go back to Jamaica. Yeah, nice and warm there. Tropical fruits, sunshine, beaches. Sounds great. I'll be up for that. That's cool.
Lovely.
That'd be wicked. That's cool, man. So that's it. Is that your last question? You've got any more? No, you're happy with that? Cool. So we've got Snowcat Man's throwing a question up to us, JC. So what do you think would be the next steps after Scratch for young people? So they're working through their Scratch. Like, what would you say would be the thing move on to after Scratch?
Sure. So I do have to say, you don't have to move on from Scratch, right? Because you can really take Scratch all through high school, even college, and there are lots of grown-ups who like to use Scratch to express themselves and create art and make projects. But if you want to explore new things after Scratch, I'd say one of the coolest parts is using different kinds of hardware. So I know that Raspberry Pi does a lot of that in their work. So Circuit Playground is one of my favorite pieces of hardware to play with. Has lots of LEDs and lots of sensors, and of course microbit. In terms of coding, obviously there's a whole bunch of different languages you can jump into and try. But Arduino is a nice next step as well. If you're ready to head into a little bit more advanced programming and advanced robotics and electronics, Arduino has a whole bunch of kits that you can use to jump into that kind of programming.
Awesome. We've got an Arduino in a box downstairs. Should we get it out one day? Make some robots? Yeah, we made a robot a few weeks ago, didn't we? And we used Scratch for that. We used the motor controller system in Scratch, the extensions for that. We made a little robot. Drove around the lounge room, didn't it? Yeah, that's cool fun. So, Zach's got some great questions here, but what's the most common question, I guess? Like when you do your outreach work and you talk to young kids, what's the most common question young kids sort of throw at you?
Sure, I think the one that comes up again and again, and typically it comes up on Scratch Studios, is how can I be on the Scratch team? And I know we touched on that a little bit, Zach, with your question. But a lot of kids ask, how can I be on the Scratch team? And I think there's actually a lot of ways that even as a young person, you can contribute to the team's work. And one of them is, like I mentioned before, to be a good online digital citizen. The other is, especially in studios, if you're helping out and commenting on other people's projects, you can be promoted to a curator, which is kind of cool. And then participating in Scratch Day, which happens every year. And even as a kid, you can help coordinate and plan a Scratch Day in your community and have others come together and celebrate Scratch in new and exciting ways. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's a lot of grassroots ways to get involved, right? Community-based ways, which again, for me, that's the other thing I love the most about Scratch is the remix community, right? The idea that I've made a thing, have a look at my thing, take it, share it, contribute, sort of comment on it, give me feedback on the things that I'm making. And I've noticed that that's one of the big things I think for the foundation as well, is that you guys want to be community-based, right? It's all about the young people who use the thing, giving them the opportunity to express themselves and share that expression with everybody in the world. And I think that is beyond anything else that I've seen people doing for young people in coding. It's really, really cool. That's amazing.
Sure. Yeah. Especially with studios, I think it's a way for young people to curate their own themes, share their own ideas, and collect other kids' ideas as well, and then have really, really interesting conversations around those themes. So we're big fans of studios.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's really cool. And there's some content that we're putting out for our parents this week around getting your kids beyond Scratch as well, or stretching their interest in Scratch. So if they're sort of starting to get a bit bored with it, the ways that you can move on, and so showcasing some of the really complex programs that people are doing in Scratch, like with the 3D graphics that people do, and sort of like game simulators and replicating actual video games inside Scratch and showing people the concepts behind them. Yeah, amazing. Studio is a really brilliant way to do stuff. That's cool. You got nothing else you'd like to ask JC before we move on and do some coding? All good? Yeah. Thanks for coming along, JC. It was really great to have you. Super informative. And I'm sure a lot of the young people out there today who are interested in getting involved in Scratch and stuff like that learned a lot, picked up a lot of really interesting things from it. You did, right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. So nice talking to you, Mark and Zach. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Our pleasure. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you again soon, I hope.
All right. See ya.
Catch you later.
Bye.
That was cool, right? How cool is Scratch? Because we like Dig Scratch, right? Like you and me, we like Scratch. And like hearing from JC about how you could go and work for Scratch or other ways, even if you don't want to work for them, ways that you can do cool stuff that helps other people who like to use Scratch and young people. Because you share all your work, don't you, when you do it? You do your projects, we share them out. We send links to grandma and stuff so she can see what you've made. It's cool, right? So should we then have a look? Because like this week, our theme is virtual sports, yeah? And so our video that we did for this week's content was Beat the Goalie, wasn't it? So we did that one. We did our code along video for that. So if you've seen that video, that's really cool. You made your Beat the Goalie project. But we didn't do some videos on the other projects this week. So what we thought was that me and Zach would jump on and Zach would have a go at the games that are the other content there. So you can see our finished versions of them, what they're supposed to look like. And then maybe Zach will come up with a couple of things he thinks could be a little bit better. Yeah. And we'll just like live code them. We'll just throw together some solutions and see how that might work. So do you want to have a look now at the skiing game? You want to see how the skiing game works? Okay, cool. So we'll throw that up. So we've got our Scratch skiing game here. And you can see we've got our Scratch the Cat and our two tree sprites down here that are sort of like working for us to like be our obstacles in the game. So I'll make it big here for you, Zach. So you want to steer with the arrow keys, all right, man? I'm going to click the green flag for you, and you want to try and avoid the trees as the cat, okay? Go. It's fast. Oh, no. Ready? Should we do another one? Oh, no. Another go. Oh, no. Oh, almost. There you go. Now you're on a roll. Oh, I crashed into a tree. What do you reckon? It's all right? What can you think of? So have another go. What can you think of that you would change in the game? What are some of the things about this game that you don't like? How could we make this game better? What do you reckon? I mean, for one, I know I've got to keep clicking the green flag so you can have another turn. Right, that's one thing we could change.
It goes on repeat.
So it just gets you back up on your feet and starts again once you fall down. Yeah, should we add that to the game? All right, cool. So what we'll do now is you can drive, man. All right, I'll switch that to you. You can drive. So what we've got here, so can you see where your cat is? And it's got that whole when green flag clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we get to the end, after you've crashed into a tree, so you can see that big block there, wait until touching tree or touching rocks or touching tree 1. After that, it makes our cat look like he's fallen on his butt, and then it stops everything. But it doesn't start it up again. So what do you think? Can you think of a way that we could do that? What are some of the things we could use to get it to start up again?
A repeat?
We could do a repeat. We sure could. Is there any other ways you think we could do it? Should we do it with a repeat? Because I've got one. We could do it with a broadcast. Right? That's the one way we could do it, right? Yeah? So what do you reckon? Should we do the repeat or should we do the broadcast?
Let's try both of them.
Let's try both of them. All right, man. So the first thing we want to do is let's get rid of that stop all in your green flag script. All right, we don't want it to do that anymore. We want it to do something different. So the first thing we want it to do is you can throw your repeat in. It could be a forever if you want the game to go forever. So clip it around the whole thing. That's the way. We'll make sure you get it in. Fantastic. So once it's touching the tree and it switches to costume 2, we don't want it to instantly kick off again, do we? We don't want it to be like that quick. We need it to slow down. How would we slow it down after our switch costume? What would we put in?
Wait a couple of seconds.
Do it, man. You got it. So put a wait block in underneath our switch costume. And then what would we have? How many seconds do you reckon it should wait while you've fallen over and you've crashed your cat?
I think 1's good.
You reckon 1's a good amount of time to wait? Okay, so let's click our green flag and see what happens. Oh, look! Oh, what's happening to our score?
It's going up.
Even though we're crashed. So what would we need to change? So stop the game. What do we need to change in our code to make sure the score doesn't just keep ticking over, even though our cat's sliding down the hill on his backside? What would we keep our score stored in? What would we have our score stored in? One of these ones. There we go. So, so what we can do is if we grab a set to 0 and put it underneath the bottom of our forever, that's the way, yeah. You can set your score to 0. So pull down that menu and make it score. That's the way. Cool. And now let's see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
So it's putting our score back to 0. Whoa, okay.
Oh,
What else is not so great about the game? What do you think? You keep crashing a lot. Why do you think that is?
because it's going too fast.
It's going too fast. You want to slow it down? All right, cool. So stop the game. Let's go to our trees and have a look at our trees. So what's it doing? Look, it's gliding. So it's moving our, go to X, random obstacle X, right? So we're going to pick a random number and Y minus 180. And it's going to glide 1 second. So maybe if you change that number 1 to another number slightly bigger, all right, that will slow it down. Let's do it for the other tree too. 2.5 seconds. Cool. Let's do it for the other tree. Cool. Let's change that glide number to something a bit bigger. Awesome. All right, let's test it out now. Hey, there we go. Nice work, dude. That's good. Nice. Is that a good speed?
A bit fast.
A little bit faster? Okay, so you can change that number again. I mean, you could pick a random number if you wanted to.
They could go really fast.
You could, well, that's the thing. I mean, but we can set the random number that we like. Okay. There we go. That's a good speed. Awesome.
Whoa.
Oh, crash. Dodge, dodge. Yeah, good. Dodge,
Oh,
dodge.
on it.
Oh, splat. Awesome, man.
Looks like it's coming straight at you.
It does a bit, doesn't it? That's the
It
sprite,
doesn't
though.
Doesn't want you to finish. No, you can't even finish. Oh no, I'm pressing
Well, we
the
could
wrong
make it
key.
so it finishes if you want. Like when you get to a certain score, it will say like finish.
100. No.
That's awesome.
Score.
We could set a score. Do you want to set a high score, or do you think you're happy with the game as it is?
You're happy as the game is.
You like that game? You just like the endless score and see how far you can go? Yeah, that's cool. I kind of like that too, actually. I think I like that functionality in our game. So that's the skiing game. That's a pretty cool game. That's the other one we could have made this week, but you chose Beat the Goalie, didn't you? Why'd you pick Beat the Goalie over skiing? Or
Because one, I've done beat the goalie before,
okay,
and I love football.
you love football, right? It's your favorite sport, right? Who's your favorite team?
Liverpool.
Liverpool, my man. All right. So we've got our skiing game. That's pretty cool. You've adjusted that a little bit. It goes a bit faster. It changes our score. And we don't have to keep clicking the green flag every time you fall over, which is kind of often in this game, right? So that makes the game a little bit more fun. Should we have a look at this sprinting game now, the other one that people could have done this week?
Yeah.
And you can give us some of your brainy ideas on it, right? So we've got a good bit of code in here. So this game here, we'll make it big. And the way this one works, Zach, is you need to push the left and right keys, one after the other, all right, to go running really fast. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go. So hang on, it's going to count down. Go. Keep going, keep going. Nearly there.
Oh no.
Hey! Not bad. That's pretty cool. So let's pull our headphones out so everyone else can hear our sound as well. You don't need that no more. We're not talking to our interviewer. So, should we have another go? So what you want to do, you want to try and get them opposite times, okay? If you push them both at the same time, it freaks out and it won't know what you're doing. Ready? Go. Oh, so that's one thing we can fix. We can't see the countdown. Oh, a bit quicker this time. Oh, okay, we go.
Come on, thingy.
Made it. So, do you reckon you could beat? How fast can Usain Bolt do the 100 meters in?
Like 9 seconds or something.
Yeah,
like that.
like 9 point something seconds, right? So, what do you reckon? Do you reckon you could beat Usain Bolt? All right, last chance, last time, and then we're going to adjust it. Okay, ready? Here comes the countdown. Go. Come on, beat Usain Bolt. Go, 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 go. You got it. That's it.
No, come on.
Come on, you got it. Do it. Do it.
No,
Beat
no,
it. Come on, Zach. Beat it. Beat it. Go. Ah!
No.
Oh, it's so close. I love how you knew you weren't going to beat it, so you slowed down at the end, just took it a bit easy in the last bit. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Okay, so having played that game now, what are some of the things you think we can fix? I can think of one thing straight away.
What?
When we click the green flag, it gives us a countdown. But what happens?
It doesn't show us the
We
countdown.
can't see it, right? So let's fix that. That's a thing we can fix really easily. So you can drive. So can you see over here, this big green flag screen, this big green flag
Yeah.
clicks. So can you see where it says say 3 for 1 second?
Mhm.
Okay, so go in front of that 3. So click in the 3 hole.
Oh.
Yeah, and before the 3, put in 3 spaces, space, space, space. Do it for the next one as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that number and we're going to move it across a little bit to the right. Cool, and then do that for the last one as well. All right, let's test it now. Let's see if that's fixed it. Awesome, so we fixed that. That's good.
These multiples. no.
Oh no, you lost your rhythm. You lost your rhythm.
No! Oh,
You're getting faster. I'll give you that. You're definitely going faster. Yeah, nice.
last time.
Made it. You beat your previous time. That's true, and that's what counts, right? Beating your personal best is the most important thing. We're not really racing Usain Bolt. I mean, come on, it's the fastest man alive. Ridiculous. So that was pretty cool. So when you win the game, like that's pretty cool. We get to the end, and it goes, wahoo! Should we have someone at the end, like doing a dance for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, should we have that? Okay, man. So what I want you to do is let's add a new sprite. You can pick the person who's going to do the dance. So down the bottom right there, click on the little face. That's the way. And you can pick who's going to do the dance. We're going to get an animal. We're going to have a person.
This dude.
This dude. All right, cool. So let's click him, Champ99. Let's bring him in. It should add our sprite.
Oh.
Fantastic. So go to your finish line script. Well, actually, go to the go to the finish line script. That's right. Let's go to the finish line script. Okay, so what we want is we want to have it move closer and closer to us. So let's have a look at our trees and see how they change. So what code do we have on the trees? Look here. So this here. Okay. So if you grab that when I receive start and drag it across and put it on Champ99. Oh, that's it. Get the wiggle, and then you can grab that one as well. So
Oops.
that's okay.
This one.
Yeah. Cool. And so let's check our finish line and see what it goes to, because it might go to a different position. So go to, oh, look, it goes to 0.30. So we want our champ to go at 0.30. So let's go to here, our champ and go up here. So let's put him at 0.30, right? So then he'll be in the middle. Cool. So if you give us a right click and clean up your bricks. Awesome. Cool. Nice one, man. So now let's test it and see if that works. We should have him appear. You can start seeing the champ get bigger. There he is. Oh, he's so fast. Oh, 10.6. That's your best time. Yeah, that was good. Cool. And so look, there he is. All right, so he's there waiting for you at the finish line. So what we'll do is when we get to the end, okay, so what happens is he gets to the end of the finish line, and then what should we have him do once we get there?
Do his dance.
Do his dance. So how would we get him to do that?
Looks.
Yeah, and then what are we going to have him do?
Dance.
So how will he dance though? What's the code we need to make him do in order to make him look like he's dancing? What are the things that we're changing over to make him look like he's doing different things? Yeah, you got it.
This.
Yeah, but so what we're going to do is we're going to do a whole script. Look, there we go. So you just changed his costume. He's going to dance for you now. Okay, so but we want the next costume. But before we do that, let's go to the end and put a broadcast in. Okay, so when we get to the end, pop a broadcast in and change that. We don't want start. We'll put it right at the end. That's it. Pop something else in. So maybe end or win to change your message to something new. Give it a new message and call it win or start. That's it in the bar, win. Cool. Okay. Awesome. And now when I receive win, yeah, cool. We want him to repeat a number of times. So grab a repeat block. We want him to repeat a few times. Yeah, it's warm today, isn't it? Repeat 10. 10's fine. So how many costumes has he got? Go check out his costumes. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 costumes. So we want him to change at least, so any multiple of 8. So what's like 2 times 8?
16.
Cool. So let's go back to our code and pop in 16 times. Cool. And we want him to go to next costume. And we probably want to put a wait in between that. So put a wait after our next costume of like a fraction of a second, not like a whole second, slightly less than a second, I think. What do you reckon? 0. What? 0.5. Okay, cool. So if you click when I receive win, if you just click on top of that now. Yeah. Do you want to add a sound for him to dance to? Do you want to add some music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to sounds and we'll import a new one. Let's import a new sound. Oh, he's already got one called Dance Celebrate. Is that the one you like? Test it.
Yeah.
You like that one? So he's already got a sound added. So that's fine. So let's go to his code and we can go to sound. And then when I receive win, start sound, dance, celebrate. That's it. And click that above your repeat block. Sweet. And now you can click the green flag and go. Ready? Look, there he is. He's waiting for you. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, 10 seconds flat. And look, there's a dude doing a dance for you, doing a victory dance. Well done, man. That was cool.
I bet if I tried again, I could beat you.
All right, one more try. One more try. Ready? Let's make a big screen this time. Ready? Go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, you're crushing it this time. Go, 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 go. Don't slow down. Don't slow down. Go, 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 go. You're so close.
Come on, Hans.
Oh, insane speed. Yeah, that was amazing, man. Well done. Very cool. Awesome, man. That's some great ideas. That game's way more fun now. Nice one, man. This is why I keep you around, by the way. You come up with all the good ideas. Yeah, awesome. Cool. So that was our digital sports week. Was that fun? Did you enjoy it? Which one was the best game? The beat the goalie or the other one? What was the other? We did the skiing one. Beat the goalie, skiing, or sprint. Which one was the best one?
The hardest one was this one.
The hardest one is this one. Yeah, yeah. But which one was the best one? Which one did you like the most? What was your personal favorite? The sprinting game was your personal favorite. Yeah, I think I liked it too. I especially like challenging Usain Bolt with you on Scratch. Oh, that was really good. That was cool, man. Well done. Awesome. So thanks for tuning in this week, everybody. It was really great to have you. Did you have a good time this week?
Yeah.
You enjoyed being on the live stream? You going to come back again sometime? You can grill some more grown-ups and ask them some really hard-hitting questions about teleportation machines. Yeah? Awesome. That'd be great, man. I'd love to have you back. So again, everybody, thanks for tuning in this week. It was really great to have you again. Remember that we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on at the Raspberry Pi Foundation, not least of which is Coolest Projects. And so you've got a couple more days to enter your project, and it can be anything that you want. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have made it with code, then you can enter it in Coolest Projects and have the opportunity to have your work shared with kids from all over the world. You get to see a bunch of famous people who will look at your work and mark it for you. We've got astronauts. We've got Mitch Resnick, who invented Scratch. We've got a bunch of people. Lady Ada from Adafruit, she's in there. So get involved with Coolest Projects. You can do that by sharing your work with us and submitting those sorts of things. We also like to give a big shout out to our translators again. I know we mentioned them once briefly, but really those people who are out there every week making our projects available to all the kids all over the world, they're doing an incredible job. And we don't thank them often enough. So I'd like to take this opportunity now, just take a second, slow down, say thanks very much, man. Say thanks to the people who make all our translations.
Thanks.
Nice. So hopefully you'll tune in with us again next week, everybody. It was really nice to have you. We will see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. And please keep doing things, keep sharing your work, and get involved with Coolest Projects, guys. It's an opportunity for you to showcase your amazing talents with people from all over the world. So again, we'll see you later. Let's say bye, dude.
Bye.
Bye, gang.